what's good, Woo Crew? calebwutv back with another video, and welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new, I'm a Division III soccer player, and today I'm going to be answering one of the most frequently asked questions that I get in the DMs and in your comments. To make this more interesting for you, I'm going to do a voiceover over some of the clips from this year and my freshman year, and I'm also going to show you some of my high school highlights. So to answer the question, how good do you have to be in high school to play Division III soccer? It depends on a lot of things, and I'm going to break it into a bunch of different sections, including your soccer ability, grades, financials, schedule, and a few other things. I'm going to also be talking about the biggest differences between high school soccer and college soccer. But first we're going to start off with soccer, and it starts with getting recruited. Now there are a bunch of different ways to get recruited. Most of the time it includes multiple of them, including your highlights, going to showcases or ID camps. It's simple. There's two ways that the recruitment process starts with a college. Either the coach reaches out to you or you reach out to the coach first. If you have a list of colleges that you're interested in, you might want to contact those college coaches first. Or if you're just interested in seeing which college coaches are interested in you, then you might just want to wait and see. You could also do a little of both and then weigh your options afterwards. I'm going to run a few of my high school highlights that I found while I talk about the importance of a highlight video. So highlight videos are pretty important as it's usually a first impression on a coach. But you also have to be careful when making a highlight video, and there's a few things you should watch out for. First, it's important that the quality of the clips is there. You want to make sure that the coach who is watching your highlight video is able to identify which player you are, and you want to make sure that the clips aren't too zoomed out or too blurry. So even if you're playing really good competition and you have highlights from showcases and ID camps, if the quality of the clips aren't there, you might want to consider leaving them out. But you also want to remember that with COVID, or even just in general, not all coaches are going to be able to make your games. So having highlights is a good second option if they can't see you play right away. So when we go back to the question, how good do you have to be in high school to play Division III soccer? It's ultimately up to the coaches. You show them what you have to offer as a player, and then they rate you and see if you would fit into their program. Even if one coach isn't interested, don't get discouraged because every coach will have their own opinions and needs for their team. A lot of that could even depend on the positions they are looking to fill if they are losing seniors or transfers. Just another thing to keep in mind about the recruitment process, from my personal experience. When I was choosing from my offers, it was important that I found a place where I felt comfortable. Because if you don't like the school, it's going to affect what you're able to do on the field. So keep that in mind if you have a bunch of offers. Visit the school if you can, or at least look up virtual tours on YouTube. I had to throw this in because you never know what's going to happen on a visit. Talking about the differences between high school soccer and college soccer, from my personal experience, I think the biggest change is the speed of play, even more than the physicality. Obviously, college soccer is way more physical than high school soccer, but I think soccer IQ is just as important as you'll have half the time to make decisions. Which leads me into my next point, which is that you have to have an even better touch in college than in high school, as you'll have way less time on the ball and you won't be able to take that extra touch. The next biggest change from high school soccer to college soccer is the fitness. It's so important that you stay in shape, make sure you're running, go to the gym, because the games are longer too. I'll be uploading what you're seeing on the screen now and what a college soccer fitness test is like, and some other behind the scenes soon, so stay tuned. When you look at this question, how good do you have to be in high school to play Division III soccer? You might wonder how important awards were in high school. And to be honest, they aren't that important in the coach's eye. What you do in high school doesn't determine what you're going to do in college. And it's like a restart, so all you need is one opportunity. And you're competing against different people for different spots. If a coach likes what they see in you as a player, they're not going to be concerned if you don't have that many awards. It's possible that you dealt with injuries during your high school season, or you improved a lot after your season and played better outside of high school. So don't be too concerned about all the achievements, although if you have them, they'll definitely help. With that being said, we're going to move on to the next important section, which is grades. Similar to the soccer aspect of how there's a range of the best Division III soccer teams and the weakest Division III soccer teams, it's the same for grades. There are schools that require a really high GPA and schools that don't require as high of a GPA. If you want to know the average GPA and SAT scores for a specific school, you can easily find that online just by searching, and it'll help you get a gauge of where you're at and if you'd need to raise your grades or not. So even if you're good enough to play for a certain team in a coach's eye, if you can't get into the school with your grades, then that's going to be a problem. If your grades are close to the standards of the school, the coach might be able to help you get in with the help of your soccer ability. However, there's going to be a lot less leniency for your grades for a Division III school compared to a Division I school. It's also just important to keep your grades up as high as you can because it shows a coach that you're willing to work hard in the classroom, which means you're more likely to work hard on the field. And your coach is going to know that there's going to be a lot less issues when you get to the college balancing your grades and soccer. When you're comparing the difficulty of classes in high school to the difficulty of classes in college and how hard it is to get good grades, you might think it's going to be a lot harder in college. But honestly, it's just different, and it depends what college you go to. In college, there's a lot less in-person class time, but you have to get your work done in order to be able to play. Now let's move on to the next important section. While a lot of you high school soccer players are definitely good enough to play Division III soccer, sadly, money could be an issue. This is another reason it's important to keep your grades up so that you can get academic scholarships. At the Division III level, you can only get academic scholarships, and coaches can't give any athletic scholarship money. However, if you're a really good student, sometimes the coach can help you get some more academic scholarship money if you're also playing soccer. Okay, next I'm going to be talking about being on a college soccer team versus being on a high school soccer team. A lot of college soccer players were the best player on their high school team, and there was no iron team, but there was an iron win, and it was just takeover mode. In general, college soccer players are going to have better coaches in college than in high school. And in high school, a lot of times, you're not going to have the best coaches, so you got to be prepared to make that adjustment when you get to college. So it's important to be coachable and be a team player. And you have to be ready to be more open to learning and applying what the coaches are telling you, which will also help you get more playing time. In college, another big difference is that you're with your team all the time. Most people live on campus or they'll live with their teammates. So that's a big adjustment as well, but at the same time it's very helpful because you're gonna have the same schedule as them and you're gonna be able to help each other out. Lastly, I'm gonna talk about your schedule and if you're gonna be able to be committed to playing Division III soccer. So while it's not necessary that you have all these traits down before you get into college, it's very helpful to create a lot of these good habits during high school so that you'll be prepared for college. One of the reasons a lot of people who could play college soccer decide to quit is because of the amount of time that you have to put in. It's like your job during the season. It's fun, but it also requires a lot of commitment. Like, are you willing to give up some time playing video games and making sure you're getting extra touches at the field or going to the gym and getting stronger? If you do want to play Division III soccer, you still will have free time, but it's just important that you have good time management. So to wrap up this video, how good do you have to be in high school to play Division III soccer? Most of the time you're just going to be thinking about pure talent, but what you have to realize is that you're also going to have to be mentally ready and mentally tough all the time. I hope that was helpful, but if you have any other questions, make sure you drop it in the comments and make sure to subscribe because I have more vlogs with the team coming soon. We'll see you guys in the next video. Stay true, Woo Crew. Just what? Peace.